Hello. In this video we're going to go over posting articles to the website. Um, I will show you how to put photos with the article and also within the article, so if you have multiple photos, maybe just one or two that you want in there, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, if you haven't done so already, log into the dashboard. We're going to come over here and hover over Posts, click on Add New. And from here, we're going to post this article here on fashion. So go ahead and copy the headline. This is where your headline is going to go. So paste it right in there. This particular article was sent using HTML. So go ahead and copy that text right there. Make sure you get all the way to the end. Make sure all the way from the beginning all the way to the end. Copy that. Now in here you have two different views. We have the visual view and the text view. The text view is specifically for HTML. So in order to paste HTML text, you want to make sure that this window is selected. So go ahead and paste that in. To kind of get an idea of how it looks, go ahead and click on Visual. And this is the visual side. Okay, well we already had this added in up here, so we don't need it. So let's go ahead and let me just do that here real quick so we stop getting notifications. Okay, so we already have this up here. We don't need it. So let's go ahead and go back to the text side and just get rid of that whole first line. Make sure you get rid of these opening and closing H1 tags. Then delete that extra space. Look at that. You can also delete from the visual side as well, and we're going to delete the author name because we're going to add that a little bit later. Get rid of that extra space up on top. Okay. Before, as I was talking, you kind of saw me go to the email, drag the photo that goes with it to the desktop. You can certainly do that because we're going to upload it in the media library anyways. So you don't need to save them after you upload them if you don't want to. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay. As you can see, we've got some links here. They're a different color and they're underlined. Okay, if we go on over here, we want to categorize this article so it shows up in the correct module on the home page. This is fashion. So go ahead and click that. You can also add new categories on the fly. So if maybe you have a completely different category in mind, or you add one, you can add it while you're doing posts. You don't have to add it over here. You can add it on the fly as well. We don't need anything in here in the tag section for fashion because that module pulls in by category. So that's why we have checked fashion here. Okay, scroll down a little bit where it says Valenti drop-down menu featured. Featured on category menu. And this, I do this with all the posts, but as you can see on the home page, not all of them have this little drop-down menu. So we don't have to, I just do it for every post, so that way it's done. And I leave these two alone, but you can play around with that. Okay, next we're going to set the featured image for this post. This is the image that's going to show up on the top part right here, and also on the home page in whatever section pulls it in. So back in the back end here, go ahead and click on Set Featured Image. It's going to bring you to your media library. We already have this photo uploaded, so let me just delete it so I can show you how to upload a photo. These are all the photos that we have uploaded so far. Photos, logos, media. So to upload, you want to click on Upload Files. You can either select it from wherever you have it saved, or you can just drag and drop. So like I have this picture here on my desktop. If I just click and drag and release, the file uploads. Go ahead and click Set Featured Image. Let's go ahead and preview it. Scroll back up to where it says Publish here and click on Preview. One note I want to point out here, the article itself will not appear on the website until we click Publish. So until then we can click Preview, take a look at it. It will open up its own separate window, so you don't have to right click to choose it to open up in a new tab or anything. It'll automatically do that. And here's our post. We can see our picture, headline. The author we're going to change in just a little while here, so don't worry about that for right now. Here is our post. Now I wanted to show you here too, there's different things you can do with a featured image. If you scroll down here, it says Featured Image Style. Right now we have it on Standard. You can choose Full Width. If you click on it, scroll back up and hit Preview, your window will refresh itself. And as you can see, it went the full width here of the container. And the article itself has like a white background behind it where it kind of overlays this bottom left-hand corner of the photo. So this isn't a bad choice for this, but we probably want to see all of this photo here and probably this one here, since we're trying to show detail. So that's probably not the right choice for this particular post. So we'll go back. Let's take a look. Let's look at background. Click on that, scroll back up and click Preview. Let it refresh. And this here, as you can see, it takes up the entire background. And for this particular post, this is probably not the best way to showcase this photo for this article. The best way to use background photos is if it's a high enough resolution that it won't get extremely pixelated. Also, maybe a good example would be maybe like a movie trailer photo where maybe say the background is mostly like fire or some kind of really neat, like a city, something like that. And then maybe like the actor's head is over here. You know, something where it's not going to cover up main details and it's going to look decent. Then there's also the parallax feature. Pretty much the same thing as background, except for the photo itself is going to be put to a fixed position in the background so that when you scroll, the content scrolls over the top. That's what we call parallax. And again, since this particular photo does not look great in the background, I think we're going to go back to our original standard preview. And again, remember, we have not clicked publish yet, so this article is not live. We're just solely checking it out. And there, I think that looks great. So why don't we go ahead, go back and click on publish. Now if we go back here to our home page, refresh it. Remember to refresh every time you make changes, because if you're just going back and forth without refreshing, you're going to be disappointed and wonder where your post is or where your changes are. And here it is. These modules will pull in most recent on the left hand side, so this goes from most recent to the less recent. So if you wanted to change that, you could go back in and modify the date, and I could show you how to do that as well. So let's say, for example, that maybe, okay, so let's say that we did both of these on the same day, but we thought this one was a little bit more important. So we'll go back to the back end. Go to all posts. And let me see, and as a matter of fact that was not, so let me find, and over here you can look by date. Now I know that one was done on the 2nd, that's the one we want. Okay, click, so find the post that you want to edit, click edit. And up here you have the option of clicking the publish date and time. You could change the date and the time is in military time. But you could certainly do that. You could certainly rearrange it by date and time to get it to show up how you want it to. But we're not going to do that, so I'm just going to click cancel. And we didn't do anything to this post, so we can just go back to all of our posts here. Okay. In the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit more about the modules on the front page, what they pull in, and how they're set up, and how you can modify those. I guess one thing I probably should show you in this video before we leave is how to put a photograph inside the article here. So say you had 2 of them that look pretty decent and you want to add it in. So if we look here, this is an article that has 2 photos. It's got the feature photo here, and then it has this other photo that just kind of adds to the story here. If you click on it, you get the larger version. So let me just show you how to do that. Okay, so let's go back to our fashion one here, and just for an example, we're just going to use the same picture, just so I can show you. So if you go, you can use the visual mode here instead of the text. You can use visual. Place your cursor at the beginning of the story, or where maybe you wanted it down here. But I'm just going to show you how to do it in the beginning, and then you can play around with that. So right here, we're going to click Add Media. It's going to take us to our media library. And we can see our picture here that we uploaded previously. Let's go ahead and click on that. And click Insert into Post. Okay, now you can see it inserted itself in and it kind of pushed all the text down. So what we want to do is click once on the photo, and it's going to bring up this bounding box. And click Align Left. You can either click it here or there. It doesn't matter. Click Align Left. Now, it's automatically going to add what we call padding, which is a little bit of space here. So don't despair. It looks kind of weird here, but then we're going to go ahead and go to Preview Changes. And as you can see, it automatically adds what we call padding, the space in between the content here. And then once again, if you click on it, voila. You could also align it to the right. So, and also too, as you can see, as it came back, the little toolbar we had that popped up isn't there anymore, but it's not a big deal because we can do it right here. So let's say we wanted it to the right. Preview changes. Now it shows up on the right. And let's say we want it in the center. It's not the greatest looking thing, but hey, let's check it out. Maybe it looks better here. And it's centered all right. I mean, there's no text wrap, which I think it depends on where in the article you place that photo. If you want the text to wrap around it while it's in the center. Then if you want to say you want it to the left again, there you go. Oh, look, our little box showed back up. Okay, so let's say you want to move it. This is considered like an in-text object. So if you wanted to move it down some lines, you would have to put your cursor in front of it. So let's say we would move that text down. There you go. You could click and drag it. As you can see, it's kind of a pain because you can't really oh, I want it right here. It doesn't work that way. But you can move it from paragraph to paragraph. So say you wanted it right there. Hit preview changes. And it'll show up right there. Just play around with it. That's basically how you figure things out, is playing around with it. Sometimes you learn things that you didn't realize you could do. But we don't need this picture at all, so we're going to remove it. Preview changes. We're back to our original post. And we can click update if we want. You don't need to, since we didn't really make any crucial changes, but you would click update if you did make changes and you want them to stick. Back to our home page. There it is. Looks good. Okay, so now we'll get to the next video, where I'm going to show you the different modules on the front page, what they pull in, and how to rearrange them.